Everything sounds all good, hopefully. Let's hope my voice holds up, because this is Ace Attorney. Continue. Been a while. Last time he's gonna talk about a deduction. About a bomb. I stopped because I wanted to keep going, trying to get to the trial, but I didn't see a deduction coming up. I think I've already read this line. Alright, let's get this going. Once again, I get drawn two conclusions from the scene we see before us. The first is that the inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Trevor himself. Oh, how could you? And the second conclusion is the small device on the floor there is, without question, completely genuine. Please, Mr. Sholmes, you must explain everything. It would be a pleasure. After all, it is the great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the finer points of the trade. What is his face? I don't think I've seen that face before. Well, Inspector Gregson seems to lie with the idea anyway. Oh, you deflected the inspector's gaze with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done! You're too kind, my dear madam. And here I dedicate this introduction to you. Kindly stand there, Mrs. Otto. Oh, yes! I'd be delighted! So, shall we begin? Once again, Sherlock Holmes' project then is logic and reasoning spectacular. Now I'm glad I stopped because now I know for sure it's this. Alright, well. Hopefully we can actually start the trial in this episode. In this stream. I didn't see what that was. It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table, the chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had until recently been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down onto the floor. Every item in the room was on the ceiling? Are you suggesting that? Indeed, the key here is gravity. It appears that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the earth. Great! The gravity was first and then suddenly restored to normal. What's with the safe code on the back of that chair? Goodness! The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. I quite understand your skepticism, Mrs. Otto. I too was incredulous at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this. An anti-gravity device, almost identical to what that featured in a dream of mine only the other day, in fact. Anti-gravity device, really? Why does it have a clock on it? Most relevant question indeed. That is a timing device that controls when the gravity direction will switch. There's clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore the normal gravity automatically. And the commotion we heard earlier from the other side of the door was the moment the restoration occurred. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because the anti-gravity device do the freaking time bomb. So you see, we need to look no further to explain this data, which we can now find this room. The direction of which gravity accident, which was in here, was reversed by Mr. Trevor before being restored to normality in an automatic fashion by sometime later by the timer device. This is your most absurd. This is by far your most absurd talking point. Jeez, I witnessed precisely this scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed. Shake my head. Now let's consider consider the next conundrum. What was underneath your friend's name? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads. Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up on the ceiling? I was wondering this too. A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madam. Maybe the whole room like twists or something. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Of course, Trevor's aim was singular, to escape. Well, I mean, that's pretty obvious. However, there's but one way into this room. Except in the skylight, that is. By inverting the header here, Trevor was able to fall conveniently into the ceiling. To make his escape, the otherwise inaccessible skylight, leaving the footprints behind on the wall. But the ceiling in here is very high, Mr. Sholmes. Jeez, man. If the gravity reversal was sudden, wouldn't Mr. Trevor have fallen up to the ceiling rather violently? Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. But the man was cornered with nowhere to run, so escaping through the skylight was his only option. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers the solution. The rope? Oh, the rope! Reaching the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? By anchoring one into their wall, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling. Just because Trevor was able to escape this room before our arrival. He reversed the pull of gravity and fled via the skylight. And personally, I should very much like to reverse the pull of gravity again now, just for fun. You idiot. Yay. Listen to the selection was great deduction. This topsy-turvy puzzle. Ellipse. Gregson's face. The dog doesn't even care. Oh, stop smiling. He's completely spellbound. Mr. Sholmes, it's just one thing that troubles me. I don't expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life. The thing is, such a thing actually possible? An anti-gravity device, I mean, we don't have it nowadays, so I highly doubt this. I would say that with a man's current scientific knowledge at the turn of the 20th century, it's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis, which means it's impossible. But your whole deduction hinges on it. Nah, but my dear fellow, we do have eliminated the impossible. Whatever remains must be the truth. However improbable it may seem. That's a marvelous language, agree. When I'm more enduring personal wisdom. It's your dumbest. That's for sure. It's by far your dumbest. I had Iris come up with the exact phrasing. My original was clumsy. Wait, you had Iris stage this whole thing? Yes, I have a feeling I've read in something that Sasato left me once.
Objection!
Oh jeez. Okay. Actually, there is one other thing, Mr. Schultz. Ah, the spell's broken at last. The rope you found was on the floor, wasn't it? Indeed it was. In lonely coils near the wall. But if Mr. Trevor had used it to escape in the way you described, wouldn't it still be tied to the wall? Got him. Mysteries never really unraveled in the end, as I think you'll find 2 ropes. And as evidence of such, you need only look at the mystery we face in this room now skillfully unraveled. The argument is as circular as the coils of rope. I think perhaps we might need to give Mr. Sholmes the usual little helping hand. I'm sure with some minor corrections, the great detective's great detection will lead us to the truth. Yes, you're right. We must do it quickly before Enoch Trevor gets too far away. If you're ready, let's resume. Sherlock Holmes is logic and reasoning spectacular. Alright, my turn. Same thing as always, I'm not reading out the lines that's already spoken. Alright, there's a picture of the Eiffel Tower. I guess he was... Was he Italian? Oh, oh no, that's French. Yeah, you idiot. Yeah, I guess we haven't talked about France before. We've talked about something related to France. There's a potted plant back there. I think gravity could have been reversed in this manner. I find the whole idea utterly enthralling. What Mr. Sholmes could conceive of such an explanation? The man himself admitted it was just a scientific impossibility, so... Is she quite right? We must completely discount the idea at once. Oh, that's unusually merciless, you, Mrs. Otto. We can't eliminate the impossible. Whatever remains must be the truth. The great detective himself said so, didn't he? While fusing apart with his dreams of anti-gravity devices. Yes, I suppose so. Let's see if examining this topsy-turvy scene a little more closely. It reveals some proof that shows exactly what the gravity in this room was or wasn't doing. Okay. Bird furniture. I mean, there's this upright vase. Okay, so it's not... The plants haven't actually spilled out. Well, oh, I didn't actually mean to push that button. I meant to present it. Well, I wasn't expecting to find a pretty bunch of flowers in here, that's for sure. Now look at that! I know. This tiny little vase looks like it's about to topple at any moment. But the flowers are thriving. That makes you think of the fragility of life, wouldn't you say? To be honest, Mr. Naruto, something else about it made a rather deep impression on me. Yeah, I know. I just pushed the wrong button. The upright vase clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. Upon my word, Mr. Naruto, you should pass yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. But trying to impress your assistant here, perhaps. No one is trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Schultz. Trust me. I should really say, though it appears at first glance that all the furniture in the room is upside down. This is cylinder vase is standing keenly to extension. And like the large safe, there's nothing affixing it to the floor. And it's the exception that breaks the rule. In short, much as that pains me, the cryptid was never burned at all. My deepest sympathies for your loss. Oh, poor Sholmes. But the show must go on. So let's continue with our deductions. Now we know that this retrieval is not in fact an anti-gravity device. There remains but one other possibility. You don't say. Okay, he's gonna go back. He's actually gonna change this. We haven't seen this since like the second case ever. So we turned over every piece of furniture in here. Which might sound obvious, but leaves one mystery very much unsolved. Namely, why would anybody choose to do that? Quite. And naturally, there's an explanation. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. He's absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with it, isn't he? I'm afraid the lure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong. Well, there's no doubt that somebody did this. Somebody turned all this furniture over. So whoever it was must have had a reason. I'm afraid nothing comes to mind at all, though. Well, let's look around and see if the answer presents itself. Okay, so we got the time bomb. I mean, there's this code, the safe combination. Is that it? I don't see how the safe... I mean, it's suspicious, yes, and I saw this before, but like... nothing else? Really? I don't think it's that. It doesn't seem... Coal burning heater. No, it can't be that. I mean, this is fixated to the floor anyways. I guess I'm gonna have to go with the safe combo.
Take that!
Okay, good. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the safe combination. Precisely. I believe Mr. Naruto. You had a very similar experience once, did you not? Yes, last year. When I bought a lottery ticket, I know that the ticket number down on the inside cover of a book just in case. That's it. For people who are forgivable souls on heart, and always make a written note of the important information. Just keeping the ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think. What pray happened next Mr. Naruto? When the day of the draw came around, I had forgotten which book I had written the number in, and I had turned my room upside down to find it. That's it. People who are forgetful souls at heart, I always forget where they note things down. Not if you always note things in the same place. I actually won the second prize, you know. Hey, good job. But I couldn't remember which magazine I slipped the ticket into. Take it, Mr. Naruto. I believe I proved my point now. With my face. Which is that a very similar scenario has clearly unfolded in this room. Finding himself required access to the safe, the occupant of this room needed the combination code. He remembered that he had written it on the other side of a piece of furniture, but forgot which one. Need to say which we now find the room. Yes, Mr. Trevor overturned all the furniture in here. In a desperate hurry, so like the combination code that would unlock the safe. What was in the safe, though? Alright, I think this is the same. Yeah, this is just about escaping. There might be some new things here, though. Because he said that there's no anti-gravity. Oh, well, this is the same, okay. Well, if a change in the direction of gravity can't explain it, then how do those footprints get there? Yes, I feel as though that particular mystery has just become even harder to solve. I can't think of any other way to explain it at all. Life was so much simpler in those Halcyon days. When gravity could be reversed, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'll just move on. It was minutes ago, and those Halcyon days never existed in the first place. Well, I suppose we must simply put our faith in Mr. Sholmes and observe the area in more detail. Putting our faith in Mr. Sholmes is what gets us into these situations in the first place. That was a balloon. A shoe! There's also more footprints back here. The balloon or the shoe? Well, I'm gonna examine the shoe. It's hard to believe, but it's a shoe up there. Look. Oh yes, there were footprints on this little balloon too. Perhaps the shoe was thrown up there and became lodged. Do you think? If so, then judging from the number of footprints, it must have been thrown up several times. Oh. Why would anybody be throwing shoes up the ceiling, though? Oh dear, that's beyond me, I'm afraid. Okay, that's a weird explanation, but I guess it makes sense. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby shoe. And on closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon as well. In other words, the aim was never the skylight at all, but the balloon. But for what purpose? A green balloon. That seems more familiar data. Ah! Well, the piece of the green balloon's envelope that Mr. Naruto found on the scene. Inside the green balloon was Mr. Gott's And it's either Mr. Green that Mr. Gross claimed he saw above the stage when the incident occurred. Was the second birdcage, the crux of the whole instantaneous kinesis deception. You mean to say? If we assume the balloon is up, here's a bottle the one they use today. There's a strong possibility that the thing might be concealed inside it. Something our absconder was desperate to retrieve before making a easy getaway. With the balloons out of reach, hence why he resorted to a projectile, namely the shoe. Ah! Most probably, Trevor intended to tear a hole in the envelope by sailing with the shoe. However, his efforts were thwarted when the shoe itself became a prisoner of those lofty heights. Oh dear! We need to examine that balloon. Oh, there was some way we could see inside. Okay, and then back to the rope. Yeah, that was the exact same. Mr. Sholmes has managed to bring the deduction back to the rope. Oh man, I have to admit, that was clever. So we just throw the rope up to the balloon and then we pull it down to us on the ground. It's much easier said than done, I feel. It could take us a very long time as well. True, perhaps we need a more surefire method. In fact, we already have one, of course, don't we? What? I gotta present a piece of evidence? Okay, well, we got a crossbow. What is this? Wait a minute, what is this? Small fragment of very unusual glass that was found in the folds of clothing of Professor Waxworth, here from the Crystal Tower. Do we shoot it with a crossbow? I can review the scene, okay. Oh, I'm trying to hold it. Look, that's my badge! I don't think we haven't had to present a piece of evidence yet. It's not that. Can we, like, use this to, like, can we, like, use this to take a picture of it or something? Like, take a picture inside? I don't think I actually examined this yet. What a wonderful machine. You really love contraptions like this, don't you? Oh yes, anything that mechanical I find absolutely irresistible. Almost irresistible, surely. Well, whenever I see a pocket watch, for example, I can't help myself. That's blood on the side of that camera. Okay. I simply have to take it apart. That's worrying. Yeah. Yes, Father tells me Father tells the time by the rumblings of his stomach now. He's gonna end up having a watch. Poor Professor Mikatoba. Oh. Look, Mr. Naruto. What is it? On the bellows just here. There seems to be some very dark red stains. Yes, you're right. It looks like blood, actually. Oh my. I'm sure it's not what you're thinking. When the lens is dark stains visible on the bellows. Oh, well, now I'm glad I checked it out now. Can I take... Oh, I can look at the back of this. Oh look, the cover came open. Yes, now. There should be a glass plate inside. You have to change the plate with each photograph you want to take, you see. Something wrong? There's no plate! It's been removed. Ah, what a pity. But I suppose if you think about it, this wouldn't be the actual camera that was used at the time, just like the waxwork isn't the actual person. So we never have found a photographic print of the executed convict coming back to life anyway. Oh yes, you're quite right, of course. Poor Susanna-san, she looks devastated. Well, that didn't give me anything. Well, now I highly doubt that this is relevant to what we're doing here. I'm gonna try the crossbow, see if I can like shoot it up.
Take that!
Oh, it did work. Okay, cool. To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this crossbow? That was found on the scene, in fact. In all likelihood, belongs to Mr. Trevor. If the man had only product away from him that day, he could have avoided losing his shoe at such a critical time. At such a critical time, this is. Alright, well. Oh, we haven't even finished the deduction, so we're just gonna flat out shoot the balloon right now, aren't we? So, shall we? Your curiosity is indeed stirred, no doubt, my dear fellows. What is it that an air drummer has hidden inside that balloon? A knight helmet? Ah! What the? Waxwork? Indeed it is. A waxwork head inside the metal mask. Okay, first of all, how did he get the balloon up there? Oh, actually, there might have been like a string attached. Because that would have, if that was inside the balloon, that would have instantly fallen. Because it's a balloon prop. And even if it was filled with helium, the waxwork head would have weighted down way too much. So I'm just gonna assume it was tied via a string or something. Indeed, it's a waxwork head. Oh, I already read that. The max is such shut tight and fast with a strong and quite impenetrable lock. So we can't see the face inside, that means. Just a moment. This is the head of a waxworks model? Does that mean... Oh, goodness! I see you join the top, Mrs. Otto. Excellent. Ah, of course. A headless waxwork model. The case of the abducted Madame Tuspel's model that you largely solved. It was only the head of the killer that was still missing. Indeed it was. But I believe Madame Tuspel's going to have to settle her sizable account with me. This, as you have now surmised, is the head of the infamous professor. Yes. But why is it here? This conclusively confirms my suspicions. The man responsible for stealing the professor from Madame Tuspel's and returning it early today was none other than an October. This is incredible. Professor Airbrain's case and the waxwork abductions are inextricably linked by Anarchdrapa's workshop. Oh, we got the head. Oh, we're going back to the thing. Yeah, here we go. Well, it appears our electrical pleasure cruise has come to an end, my dear fellows. All that remains is, yes, to speak with the architect of this adventure. The architect? You mean Mr. Drebber? As it seems quite impossible that he escaped via one of the skylights. Obviously, the man must still be here in the room. What? And his location should be abundantly clear. If you simply reflect on the journey we made together during this introduction. Trevor is right here, somewhere in this room. It's a missing room. Will you do the honors? Yes, of course. Mr. Trevor's hiding place must be the... Crap, I gotta do this myself. Cupboard. Oh, I gotta just select somewhere in the room. What, did he lock himself in the large safe? Maybe... The safe... I'm gonna assume because of the safe combination, he's in the safe.
Take that!
Jeez, man. Before we gained access to this back room, we heard noises from in here. Which tells us that the engineer was still in the building at the point in time. He was in fact searching for the combination to his safe. Pressed for time, made no attempt to right the furniture, he overturned in the process. Which you can deduce that his search for this combination happened very hastily indeed. In summary, Mr. Erner driveway. Is that this very moment inside the safe. This includes Airlock Shum's great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. Well, that was actually kind of cool, the end of that one. And we even added like a new thing at the end of that. So, Mr. Naruto, I think perhaps it's time we ended this game of hide and seek, don't you? By opening the safe, you mean? What else? Let's see. The combination was 1432582. I knew that. Alright, here goes. You found me. What the? Okay. The heck? You know, you remind me of someone from... what's his name? You remind me of someone from the DLC case of Spirit of Justice.
I did, sir. Mr. Trevor, I presume.
Correct. Better start talking. You tricked Professor Harebrant with that bogus machine you built. And you should have to explain the theft of the waxwork and manifestos as well.
Rest, I will be delighted to answer your many questions. Personally, I'd advise they deactivate my little parcel host.
Deactivate? Yeah, perhaps so.
Sure, cuz. To the time bomb. I left it in the most permanent position.
Ah! Oh, great, it's still active?
I see. Stunned silence.
Yeah, getting up to death. Get it? Gearing up. No! Mr. Sholmes, with only 7 seconds to spare. That was too close to comfort. I got 1 foot in the grave myself. I went already.
Are you trying to help us get a killer or get us killed?
Mr. Sholmes, deductions can be completely life-altering, can't they? Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave. The resemblance to an anti-gravity device is really quite startling, I might say. You idiot! Anti-gravity devices don't exist! I wouldn't push it, Mr. Sholmes. Alright, well, first of all,
Learner's badge!
I've been waiting for this to do this for a month. Might surprise you to learn that I'm actually a lawyer from the Empire of Japan.
I detest lawyers.
You know, I'm gonna give him the voice I had was like just a regular accent, but I think I should give him like a low-toned robotic voice with an accent because of his mannerisms.
They wield so-called special powers in an attempt to grind down our freedoms. Yes, let me be quite clear. I detest lawyers very much.
Any chance two negatives make a positive? Okay, fine. Oh, yeah, what happened here? What on earth happened in here?
You found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further. Everything in here is precisely what it seems. Well, we'll be giving it a go, don't you worry, Trevor. What feels to click with me is how you were able to look at my workshop. That I was not expecting. Does not compute. When I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt.
Whistling? That would have been me. Oh. For some reason, I woke up fine fellow today. No words, just tightly squeezing chips. Clearly, I must have a screw loose though, as I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. And another one there says I couldn't remember on which piece of furniture I'd written it down. We also found a rope over by the wall. Yes, I had hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly the rope was too short. Oh, he did try the skylight, but just... Yeah, he says it's too short, so I guess that makes sense. So, then I set about searching for the combination code to open the safe. I'm burning the incriminating blueprints, don't forget. I'm gonna take a drink, hold on. Forgivably though, you failed to retrieve the head of the balloon on the rafters. And after that, you hid yourself inside the safe. And first at this parcel ticking. Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police. So he was gonna kill himself to prevent talking to the police. Time bomb.
Not a death wish out here. I represent a ticking time bomb.
Please. Why do you suppose I chose to hide inside the safe? Oh, it's blast proof, isn't it? It's no ordinary safe, it's specially designed. A dynamite explosion wouldn't leave a scratch on it. In fact, the safe was the only safe place. I'm not gonna bring up the laugh track again this time. Precisely. But once you climb inside, you wouldn't have been able to get out again. I invite you to look more closely. The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside to allow the door to be locked from within. Ah, so it is. I'd always intended to blow this place to smithereens in any case. I just wasn't expecting anybody, I guess, to come along and screw up my plans.
Do you mean to say that you plan to blow all this up?
No, that was unforeseen. What do you mean? Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet. I calculate the time required to retreat to a safe distance and set the device accordingly. But your seemingly endless discourse here threw a spanner in the works. And he's just staring at Sholmes. Something wrong? Is something wrong, Gregson? Do I have something on my face besides the usual eyes, ears, nose, and mouth? I think we have a fairly good idea what's been going on here now. Oh, with the two incidents you have evidently been involved in recently. Professor Harebrain's instantaneous kinesis experiment, and the Great Exhibition, and the waxwork model you stole, which this head belongs to. That's no ordinary head, you know. That's the head of the professor. Clad in a mask with a lock so strong, I'm unable to open it safely to reveal the killer's identity. I've been considering carrying it around as protection. After all, that's enough. Oh, hi, girl. What's going on here, Gregson? I sure you're aware that I have sole jurisdiction to investigate here.
Yes, well.
Dr. Scythe again. So the forensic investigation team are here. You know about this engine, there is a key witness. Are you allowing this riot access to him? Is Ragnarok not in this? It is finished. You're not. Leave her once. My dear madam, there's no need for such threatening a tone, I assure you. After all, there's no way to agree on that's no way to agree on an acquaintance, isn't Dr. Scythe? What? Hello. So they know each other? Oh, jeez. Mr. Sholmes knows Dr. Scythe. Respecting the machine that's next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face, you're quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell. Get that! But of course, we'll show ourselves to the door. I see even soft note at all. Mr. Naruto. Yes? It would appear that our delightfully entertaining investigations have run their course for today. Mr. Sholmes! Let us leave this place in the doctor's capable hands. I said get that! Out of you! Your presence here is not a kind idea in either direction. Oh crap.
Understood. But I'll just say one thing before I head off. If it wasn't for this lawyer and his companions, we'd never have found this place, and the whole workshop would have been blown to bits. There's a time bomb sitting here. There's a store disarmed.
It's a Spectre.
Ka-ha-ha.
Something giving you a chuckle rather than driven.
Ah, so sorry. Didn't mean to offend. You're quite right, of course. You did this on the time bomb, didn't you? Yes, you did this on that one. Oh, crap.
What will you? That one? You know what I mean?
Ka-ka-ha.
No, 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 no. There goes the evidence. No, not the two random cops! It was an hour later that we heard the news of the enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage of the great exhibition. Professor Harebrain's invention and all of its secrets were blown away forever. Oh no. Well, that would have been a nice cliffhanger, but that stream was running way too long. I'm actually gonna be right back during this intermission. I'm gonna actually save first. 'Cause I think it's time for trial. Yeah, it looks like it's finally time for the trial. But I will be right back. I gotta just check on something, and this is a good place to stop. It's too early to stop the stream, but I just want to check out something, take care of something, have you maybe use the bathroom. I'll be right back. I am back. Let's start this trial. Get a nice sip of water before I start. And let's do this thing. I'm not sure how far I'm gonna get in. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to the checkpoint, but I'll get decent ways in. This should be the final trial of this case, but not like the final. But I'll probably like have one more stream of this specific case. Good morning, you two, Mr. Nahodo. Good morning, Professor. Ready for today's proceedings? I hope so. Why should we? Even I, with nothing left to do. Good morning, my dear fellows. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you're here. Quite naturally, a true gentleman stands shoulder to shoulder with his friend in battle at all times. Thank you, I really appreciate it. I'll see you later then. Now, Professor, we really need you to remain calm in the courtroom today. Yes, do try your hardest not to enter with the witness stand uninvited again. Yes, I will. I realize my dear fellows, I must interject. Oh, you're still here, Mr. Sholmes? What's the matter? Surely you're surprised at me not to be cast in my direction. Sorry, I don't follow. Oh, gee. Must I spell it out? The great Harlow Sholmes, the greatest detective, award-winning claim. Arose at some ungodly hour here by now. To be here right now. First thing in the morning. A miracle, you must agree. Well, if I must agree, then... As you know, my sleep is quite impregnable. Iris had to employ her full gamut of tactics. She pulled the cover off, shook me off, poked me both cheeks, punched me, kicked me from the bed. Then she poured a boiling cup of her latest experience of blend on my face in it. And at last I was bestirred. Oh my, Iris has been quite busy. Iris doesn't have it in her to go that far. She's too nice. Oh, I sense that spirit. Oh, fellow scientist, one who relishes in the infinite possible is a bloody team. I'm the only one who will hear the phrase. Not Iris. This is my victory. Sorry to cut in. Oh, who is this? Oh, it's you. Oh, Inspector Gregson. Good morning. Gregson, my dear fellow. What a great inspection of this delightfully early hour. Have you been fired?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because I'm being confronted with a grimer expression, eh?
Dear me, are you going to take that insult like down, Professor? What? I don't know! Poor Professor.
Anyway, here's your paperwork you asked for.
What paperwork? Yeah, I took the liberty of questioning you yesterday. I have a feeling you may prove useful.
You wouldn't believe the hoops I had to jump through to get this brought out to their archives. It's Professor Autopsy report.
Oh. The mass murderers. Who killed 5 members of the aristocracy?
He was found guilty in a close trial 10 years ago now. It was all done under wraps. He was quickly executed soon after the trial. It's all in here.
So the autopsy report of a guy who got, like, executed, okay. I don't know what to say. Thank you, Inspector. Yes, much obliged, Grayson.
I slowly get out of the yard. I'm just doing what we can in the shadow of the great detective Sholmes, of course.
He said Great Detective Sholmes, what do you know? Well then, Professor Hairbrain, this is it. Today we're going to lay it all to rest at last. Wish you the best of luck, Professor. I suppose. I'll be in there today, won't he? Drebber. Yes, we expect the prosecution to summon him as a witness. I may have bumped my mic there. If I did, I apologize. I'm still amazed that you managed to find him in just one day. I really owe you both so much. Also, another defendant. The trial is about to resume. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. This is it then. Final chapter. Funny, my heart's racing a little. I've not felt this before, actually. The strange foreboding. As if something's going to happen in this trial that I'm not ready for. I can't let that distract me from the only thing that really matters. Finding the truth. Wasn't Kazuma, or whatever his name, wasn't he supposed to be in this case? The apprentice as well? Yeah, he is right there. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. Resume the public hearing of Albert Harebrain here present, who stands accused of murder. Are the counsels for the prosecution defense ready to proceed?
Prosecution is ready, my lord.
The defense is ready, my lord. As promised, Lord Van Ziekson has his apprentice with him. His apprentice with memory loss. If I may, Lord Van Zieks.
Yes, my lord.
There appears to be someone standing at your side.
Ah, yes. My apprentice and his assistant.
The prosecution believes today's proceedings will see the complexity of this case rise considerably.
What the? I thereby instructed my assistant to attend to ensure the smooth running of the trial.
He brought a sword in to uncork the bottle. What is this? Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright? I forget the name of that prosecutor. And the smooth running of liquid refreshments, by the look of it. The way he holds himself, the way he moves, it couldn't be anyone else. He's still suffering from amnesia, so there's really nothing you can do at the moment. I know, but this is so very hard. But it appears that the prosecution has done a fine job in responding to the demands of the court made yesterday. I understand that you have successfully secured the engineer who disappeared from the scene of that day in question.
Yes, my lord. I intend to call him as a witness shortly.
Very good, very good. Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, who have been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this courtroom today, are you ready and willing to proceed? Is it the same jury as yesterday? Yes, it is.
Of course, my lord. I'm sure we all understand the importance of doing our civic duty. I do so despise deception, Medici. I find it very weird.
To take a man's life with a conjuring trick is against the magician's code, not to mention the law.
I didn't make sense to be able to write a car, if you ask me.
We had to listen to what said Bruce said to the defense. He said on what. That's it, isn't it?
Wasn't fictitious, Mike. Wasn't fictitious at all.
At least he's awake this time. If all parties are ready to proceed, you may begin with Lord Von Zieks.
Before I do, my lord, there is a report I must read to the court.
Yeah, I know you had a drink.
Yesterday, at the Great Exhibition Grounds, the evidence of a primary point to this case. The super high voltage instantaneous machine, which was installed on the experimentation stage, was deliberately destroyed in an explosion affected by an unknown person or persons.
It was what? An explosion? Yes, it's an avalanche.
Yes, I heard this grave news yesterday. Scotland Yard submitted a report to my office in the evening. I heard that the machine was blasted to smithereens and the wreckage were reduced to ashes in the flames.
I have here a photographic print of the scene taken in the wake of the explosion.
Just see if there's anything suspicious about this. Not really seeing much different.
Shows were little remains of the machine.
Yes, terrible business. He did it to destroy the evidence, did he? That Anuk Dribber? The court. Or take this print as evidence, counsel. Oh, you can see, like, the opening from before.
Late yesterday afternoon, the protection afforded by machine by the Special Dispensation Act for the Scientific Improvement Act was revoked. However, before a thorough investigation could begin, the invention was obliterated from existence. As such, this will become a very different trial. As it stands now, with no evidence on which to draw meaningful conclusions, the authenticity of the kinesis machine will remain forever in obscurity.
Indeed. Most unfortunate state of affairs.
However, one thing remains clear. The victim's death was the result of the actions of the accused. Of that we can be certain. For it was the accused himself who was operating the machine and who ultimately caused its loss of control.
Objection!
As Lord Van Zeeks rightfully says, this is a very different trial now. The accused accepts the responsibility for his part in the events that transpired. He acknowledges that Mr. Asmund died as a result of the accident caused by the machine's malfunction. However, unbeknownst to the professor, he was being deliberately deceived by a pair of very clever fraudsters. Names, counsel, if you please. The engineer, Mr. Anuk Drubber, and the victim himself, Mr. Odie Asmund. So what exactly were these two men up to behind the defendant's back? The defense intends to expose that information, thus establishing the unequivocal innocence of the defendant. And now we've given both our cases. Thank you, counsels. The positions of the prosecution and defense have been clearly stated. Lord Van Zeeks, summon your first witness, please.
At once, my lord. The prosecution calls the engineer, Mr. Anuk Drubber, to the stand.
Here we go.
State your name and occupation for the court.
Name, Anuk Drubber. Occupation. Hard to pin down, I would say.
See that black barnacle?
Yes, friends, feel I see that is no weapon.
Oh, you too. I you exactly where was
You're filing a case that you are currently being investigated in connection with another case. The theft of a waxwork model, is it? Most extraordinary sounding business. But that has no bearing on this trial, I assure you. Clear it from your mind.
You familiar with the public experiment carried out at the Great Exhibition some days ago? The accused used super high voltage instantaneous kinesis demonstration.
Yes, you could say that. I am aware of it. There was a terrible accident, wasn't there?
It was you, Mr. Drubber, who constructed the vast machine used in the experiment. Or so our investigations indicate. Can you confirm your involvement?
Yes, I constructed it in precise accordance with the blueprints, but that's all.
Then the court would be very interested to hear your thoughts about the machine, I'm sure.
An amazing device, if you ask me. The pinnacle of modern science, making instantaneous kinesis a reality at last. What?
Good gracious, do you mean to say
That the experiment was a bona fide? Is that you believe, sir? No. Yes, that is very much my belief. Such a waste that it blew up.
Objection!
We already established the machine was nothing more than a prop for an elaborate conjuring trick.
Objection!
Now here we go again.
you established nothing of the sort?
What?
All that was shown during yesterday's proceedings is that the same outcome could have been produced by means of stage trickery. This defense merely proposed a method, demonstrated its feasibility, nothing more.
But be procrastinating long enough, I feel. I don't have my procrastination emo anymore, so I can't just type it in chat. Witness, you now give your formal testimony about the machine that you constructed for the purpose of the demonstration of the Great Exhibition. Understood. Oh boy, here we go. I met the young professor approximately 1 year ago through Mr. Asman's introduction. He provided me with the blueprints that I constructed, and I constructed the machine to its precise specifications. It was no trick. If the whole show was a fraud, it would have required a body double. Just tell me, did the victim have a twin? All the spectators saw the barricade appear above the heads and then crash headfirst into the Crystal Tower. A terrible accident, I grant you. Perhaps the science on which the machine was built was flawed somehow. Body double. That goes without saying, surely. They give the impression that something has moved, when in reality it hasn't. It's a basic conjuring principle. The deception cannot be achieved without substituting the original with a fake at some point in the performance. But would I be right in saying you haven't managed to establish anything along those lines?
Incidentally, the prosecution has already confirmed that Mr. Asman has no twin siblings.
Well, that's good. It's nice to know that. It's my understanding that this witness is well versed in conjuring artfulness. I'm just glad that there's no like actual twin, because that's so cliche. Ace Attorney's used it a couple times before. I'm just glad that this is not the case. Such talents do not indicate that he was actually able to accomplish what he claims. Namely, the construction of what, by all accounts, must have been an extremely complex scientific machine. Whatever do you mean? Yesterday's proceedings brought the true nature of your past exploits to light, Mr. Draper. Indeed it did, my lord. As a swindler who preys on innocent scientists who elicit government grant money through conjuring know-how. Yes, it's true that I possess considerable knowledge of stage magic. But crucially, my scientific knowledge more than matches that of any academic in the field.
Investigation of the witnesses workshop attests to that claim, my lord. As evidence, the police found this Royal Society trophy for the young science there.
Crap, you found the trophy. Yes, that's true. We spotted there ourselves. If a hypothesis is sound, it can always be forged into a physical manifestation with sufficient skill. Though I may have sold these secrets through some deceptive wiles to talentless scientists in the past. Would you therefore assert that the explosion of the machine was an unfortunate accident? Or, of course, a deliberate act of murder carried out by misuse of the science? Oh, he's saying the harebrained plan of the bomb. Concentration, please. Yes, my lord. Alright, let's... First cross-examination in a month. Alright. Rest everything because my voice is actually pretty good today. So you're already acquainted with Mr. Aspen himself. Not really. By chance, I had seen his name mentioned in the papers, that's all. But I had no interest in his private affairs. He was an unscrupulous investor. It was no concern of mine. As long as people pay their bills, I take out my tools and construct what they ask for. So why Mr. Aspen approached you in particular? Who can say? I presume because my name is associated with excellence in engineering. Not to mention excellence in fraud. That's hard to gauge, but the point is, all I did was construct the machine according to the blueprints I was given.
In other words, the kinesis machine was built on solid scientific principles.
Yes, you might say that. Professor Airbrain certainly had a mind like no other.
Hold it!
It's clear that you have both scientific knowledge and knowledge of of conjuring magic, however. The more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to handle whatever comes along. But your implication is that I furnished the machine with some trickery, I think. It's a possibility that we have to explore. Unfortunately, though, the machine has been blown up to the kingdom come. So there's really nothing left to explore, is there?
It appears this kinesis machine was fitted with a timed explosive device of some kind.
And there's nothing left of that device either. Not a single shred of evidence remaining, I hear. Must have planned all of this from the outset. But in any case, it's abundantly clear that the experiment couldn't have been a trick. Hang on. I want to see something. We have the picture, right? Is there... Like, is the bomb somewhere around here? Did some of it survive? I don't see anything. Nothing down in the hole. I don't see... No, I'm not seeing anything. No. Oh, there's a... Wait, is that the crossbow? That looks like the... That looks like a crossbow. But, I mean, we have the crossbow ourselves, so... So, yeah, that can't be the crossbow.
Hold it!
Of course, that's it! Mr. Asman was a twin!
Objection!
Perhaps my learned friend wasn't listening earlier. Mr. Aspen has no twin siblings.
No, I heard you before. The threat hadn't quite left me. The demonstration could have been a trick if there was somebody who looked sufficiently like the victim. But that's besides absolutely ruled that out as a possibility.
It is beyond question that the victim himself, Mr. Aspen, did move from the stage to the Crystal Tower. The fingerprints found at the scene attest to that fact.
So it could have been a trick using someone who looked identical to Mr. Aspen then. What are you thinking, Mr. Nohurl? Oh, no, nothing. Just that idea that someone who looked identical to the victim is playing on my mind. So not a twin, but someone who looked similar.
Hold it!
I'll just go through the rest of this. Crashed head first, you say? According to the many witness reports from those there at the time, yes. Were you not there at the excavation grounds on that day? Unlikely. I rarely leave my workshop. Yet another of unique inventions was found at the scene. Well, it was the unveiling of the machine I'd labored over for many months. I saw it clearly with my own eyes. The birdcage plummeted headfirst into the tower. What a surprise. I believe the victim's neck was broken from the headlong fall, wasn't it? How would you have come by that information? Even an infernal recluse like me reads the newspapers, you know. According to the reports, 2 injuries were apparent on the victim's body. It kind of throws me off that he's got like red text everywhere, like in every sentence he says. Yes, he'd been stabbed in the chest by a screwdriver, believing to belonged to the defendant, and he had broken vertebrae as a result of a fall from a considerable height.
Correct. My learned friend has been doing his research, it seems.
Do we know which injury was the fatal one?
Sadly not. Forensic science is not yet at a level where such things can be determined. What we do know is that the victim died having sustained both injuries at some point during the experiment. And since he was found in the birdcage with his neck broken.
It's obvious that he fell from a considerable height. I suppose that's hard to deny.
Hold it!
So you understood the science, did you? Not in the slightest. Whoa, right? As I said a number of times, I am an engineer. My job is to manufacture according to the blueprints I'm given. I would be inviting manifold problems if I foolishly allowed my brain to digest the ideas behind them. I could be accused of stealing those ideas, for example. How is it possible to construct a machine without really understanding the principles it relies on? That's a good point. Well, you're practicing law without really understanding the principles it relies on, aren't you? A very good point. He counteracts my good point with his own good point. Stand up for yourself, Mr.
The point is, the experiments resulted in instantaneous cases taking place. As such, the science must be sound.
Yes, and really, experimental results are all that matters when it comes to proving a hypothesis. He's certainly very sure of himself. Very sure of himself. What do you mean? What do you think, Mr. Well, now that the machine has been completely destroyed by yesterday's explosion, it's going to be impossible to argue its authenticity one way or the other. But before I even established that it was a piece of stage trickery rather than genuine science, we have no grounds on which to demonstrate Professor Abrain's innocence. Both Mr. Aspen and this man in the stand tricked the professor and used him. They took advantage of his naivety and his unbending belief in his work, and once let them get away with it. Seeing as the professor is an old friend of Lord Van Zeek's, what on earth must he be feeling towards Trevor? Okay. Well, first of all, I'm gonna check this evidence, which the evidence we haven't checked out yet. Like we can't we can't unlock this. Yeah, this is the lock. This lock does look very strong, doesn't it? There's definitely no way you can remove the mask yourself if it was put on you. A terrible way to treat someone, even a convict criminal. I know, it's starting to make me livid, actually. Mr. Naruto, please. I mean, just think about it. Imagine if you had an itch on your cheek all of a sudden. You'd be utterly helpless. Well, yes, that's true. But I'm not sure. That warrants quite so much anger. Oh, right, sorry. Is that the only thing to check on here? I think so, yeah. Because without a key, we can't actually unlock that. In the autopsy report from the professor. Condemned prisoner blank, redacted for confidentiality. Pseudonym professor. Death by hanged. Midnight of June 17th. That's it. So someone that looks similar. I mean, in theory, he could use the professor's mannequin, that is, and that's why I had thought about before. This didn't show its robot arm, or its robot monocle. Well, are we just gonna say that the the head. We're just gonna present the head because like we don't have the entire waxwork, so I'm gonna try this.
Objection.
No? Okay. Okay, I've already actually heard this too. Bye. I might be getting ahead of myself, but I wanted to try it once. No, I didn't mean to do that. He's still being bugged about. Oh, hold on, mate. Oh, that's the. Is there like more evidence about the body double? Oh, do I have to like do this because this was in the folds of the clothing of the waxwork? Yeah, you know.
Objection.
No, what? Defense would like to object to the last statement. Okay. Come on, I'd like to overrule. Come on, I'm onto something. Jeez, man, I've already lost 2 health on this. It has to be here, because Ryunosuke did, like, comment about the body double. It shows an apparent stab wound. Like, those are the same glass shards. Exact same glass shards. Yeah, they look nothing alike, okay. I'm just making sure. Cause of death. Oh, hold on. We actually wait, we know the cause of death. He's not commenting on it though. What am I supposed to? What am I supposed to do? Dang, I don't know. I don't know. We also have this camera that has like blood inside of it. I'm going to assume from his body? Why do we even have this? Did I actually check this? I'm not sure I checked this. It's a little metal plaque here, look. Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. Seems rather ironic, doesn't it? Clearly Mr. Trevor really was a very talented scientist. Okay, like check the top. Nothing on the bottom. No King of Prosecutors Award. Or reference at least. Producing burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. Hold on, no. Oh wait, he's talking about like. Yeah, I was maybe thinking it had something to do with what's it called? Crap. Okay. Just forget what I'm thinking. No, what was with this picture again? Oh yeah, yeah, that's the arrow being shot up. Hold on, he's still in that cage. Wait, why is he still in there? Yeah, he's definitely inside that cage. Man, why am I stuck on the first one? Come on. Hmm. Maybe I can like try to eliminate like what evidence. Hold on. Crash down with the victim inside into the crystal tower, causing damage to its base. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Okay. Okay. It damaged its base. So yeah. Okay. Oh, there's a clear contradiction. Okay. I don't know how I didn't see this before.
Objection!
We examined the birdcage that crashed into the crystal tower ourselves. As you can see, the cage, which is a wooden construction, has the same damage in one particular spot.
Following the explosion, it fell some 30 feet into the glass of the crystal tower. That level of damage is to be expected, surely.
I agree. Damage itself is entirely understandable. What doesn't make sense is the location of that damage. All of the breakages in the wood are at the base of the birdcage, not the top. What are you saying? It's the opposite of where they should be. That's right, my lord. The birdcage that was at the scene is damaged at its base. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water there. So we have reports of the birdcage falling headlong into the crystal tower, yet the damage is at the bottom. The only way to reconcile these two facts is to accept. There were two birdcages in play that day, which were at some point switched. What? Two birdcages? Okay. Switched during what wasn't a scientific experiment at all, but an elaborate piece of stage trickery. Good gracious, explain yourself, witness. Well,
If we examine the facts, there's only one logical conclusion we could draw. The damage on the base of the birdcage clearly indicates that it crashed tail first into the tower.
Objection!
but multiple witnesses reports claim it fell head first.
The birdcage materialized in the sky next to a balloon flying over the stage, following a spontaneous explosion. After an altitude of some 60 feet above the ground level.
Which is approximately 18 meters.
It then proceeded to fall some 30 feet into the crystal tower in the ensuing deflagration.
I don't know.
Witness reports amid such chaos are notoriously unreliable.
Objection!
The victim's neck was broken.
Objection!
He plummeted 30 feet inside a heavy wooden cage. However he fell, it would be unsurprising to find one or two of his vertebrae crushed.
Ka. a riveting scientific analysis of events from the prosecution there. Though to be even more rigorous, you would have to say it was only one vertebra actually. It wasn't quite for long. I found it hard to see what's motivating Lord Von Zeeks. This witness is clearly a swindler and wanted to see it a personal friend of his. He probably just wants to bring the truth out, and is just doing his job until then. If you're going to establish this deception, do it right. Sorry? I feel like this is the undertone here. Ah, yes, and there's one more point. The defense appears to have forgotten. It obviously wasn't a trick, as a certain truth was very prominently demonstrates. What? Seems to me that the cross-examination had better continue to resolve this matter. Mr. Trevor, you will amend your testimony with details of this truth. Of course, we must treat the matter scientifically after all. I nearly had him there. The kinesis clearly took place, because there's nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from.
Hold it!
What do you mean? Well, before the demonstration began, the victim was alive on stage in front of the audience. Yes, there are lots of witnesses who saw Mr. Aspen on the experimentation stage, that's true. And the victim's neck broke as a result of an impact following a fall. Logically, therefore, the victim must have fallen from somewhere.
The exploder was an altitude of 60 feet. The point of the impact on the tower was at 30 feet up. The difference of 30 feet is therefore the total distance of the birdcage fell.
And there's no other location from which the cage could have fallen for that distance if it didn't drop out of the sky. Ergo, the victim herself must have been beamed from the stage into the sky above the crystal tower. A trenchant scientific analysis. Dear me, every time I hear it explained, it sounds increasingly plausible. Oh yes, it's all very well thought out. Certainly all the spectators on the day saw it. The birdcage plummeting 30 feet through the air, I mean. Irritatingly, yes. Okay, let's just bring this back to that. So that means I need to do something with this. Unless this is something like at the beginning. No. There's nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from. Oh, maybe this?
Objection!
No? Really? Because like you just fall into that hole. Jeez, man. Alright, let me save here. Cause I'm already at 2 health. Let me just read some of this. I mean, you can clearly see him in the cage in this. I don't know how tall that experiment was, but he definitely could have fallen through that hole. So, okay, supposedly, the balloon is like right here. It was shot with the arrow, and out came a cage with what I presume is a not a body double, but the waxworth, the waxwork of the professor. That's what I'm assuming. It falls down here, head first. And so this balloon is approximately 60 feet. This is 30 feet, which is, and then this is the ground, obviously. So 30 feet from here would put it like right here, which unfortunately is short of this. So this was like 20 feet. So unless he like dropped from here all the way down below the screen. That's a shame. What was this again? What was on the back? Oh, this was that. Oh, and a lost cat apparently. I mean, it's worth a shot if I did this. I'm just gonna look through here a little bit more. He was stabbed in the chest with a sharp object, and they actually determined that the cause of death was the impalement to the heart. The broken vertebra came later. Hold on, with this statement, can I now prove something else wrong? I don't think so. I didn't see anything else before. I mean, this is the only other suspicious thing. You know what? I'm gonna press this to see if there's something new. Yeah,
Objection!
okay, here's objection at least. Some of them look identical, yeah. And then... Huh. There's nowhere else. Yeah, you know what? I saved, so it's worth a shot. I'm gonna present the sketch.
Objection!
Yeah, okay, I guess it is the sketch. This is a diagram of the experimentation stage and its surroundings. We know that somehow the birdcage appeared in the midair before falling down into the crystal tower. A fall of about 30 feet, or 9 meters. However, if you examine the diagram carefully, you'll see that there is one other possible location from which the birdcage could have fallen. The same distance of 30 feet. No. Well, it appears the defense is a possible explanation to put forward. Go ahead, counsel. Yes, my lord. Of course. You will indicate the place to which you're referring on the same diagram. The alternate location in which the birdcage could have possibly fallen for the requisite 30 feet. Over here. Oh, I guess from this angle, it's like the balloon wasn't that high up. It was like more like here, and then it fell. Okay, so yeah, this would be like more like 40 feet up, and then this is 30 feet. Yeah, I'm gonna present
Take
this.
that!
The place I'm referring to is here. So I got when I was discussing that earlier, I had the wrong like what's it called? The wrong distance markers. That's probably a better word from that. But that's where the birdcage would have been to begin with. Which is exactly the point, my lord. Yes, the birdcage was in the machine on the stage. But what we must also consider is the height of the stage itself. Go on, counsel. Turns out the experimentation stage was built at a considerable height above ground level. If you look at a diagram, in fact, you'll see that it's about the same height above the ground as the balloon was above the crash site. When the experiment got underway, the machine and the birdcage were engulfed in steam. At the moment, the floor of the stage gave way, and if we assume that there would be a void underneath, this birdcage and the one seen by the audience have fallen almost exactly the same distance. Once again, my lord, this all points to the fact that there were not one birdcage but two.
Objection!
My learned friend, there's no evidence that the stage had such a contrivance in its design. Oh, I do. Okay, yeah, I definitely was ahead of myself before. Someone is responsible for the criminal destruction of the kinesis machine itself, it's true. However, the stage still stands. And take a moment to look at the photographic print of the scene following yesterday's explosion. I was gonna show that off to him. I wanted to do that myself. Good lord, the metal grill that formed the floor of the metal machine is undone. Yes, most likely blown up by the force of the explosion that would destroy the rest of the machine. The defense calls for the space below the stage to be investigated immediately. Mr. Trevor, it was you who built the kinesis machine, which means that it was you who built the two bird cages that we used to carry out this deception. Whether Professor Hairbrain's hypothesis is sound or not makes no difference, because the construction of this machine that matters. A machine designed to take Mr. Aspen's life and lay the blame firmly at the professor's door. Something that could only have been carried out by you, Mr. Enoch Dribber. Okay, I guess we're gonna say he's the killer. Good.
Objection!
Uh-oh. Oh, don't do that again. Wouldn't the cork still be in the bottle if he just cut it off?
If my learned friend has reached the end of his wild assertions. The prosecution would like to crush the defense's arguments slowly, but surely.
What?
Your argument fails to hold water. On 2 counts.
2? Oh, well, I said that before you even got a chance to say it.
Firstly, before and after the experiment, this witness went nowhere near the kinesis machine. Every relevant member of the staff of this exhibition has attested to that.
And I believe members of the Scotland Yard have also been on watch duty at every public experiment.
In other words, Mr. Trevor has no opportunity to switch the alleged prior bird cage.
Objection!
But I've already explained why it wouldn't have needed to.
The nonsense with the crossbow, that doesn't bolster your case at all. The man who disappeared from the stage and the man who crashed into the tower are one and the same. The forensic investigations team report is unequivocal on that point. In a second flaw in your assertion,
Here's a distinct lack of motive. Crap! We don't have a motive. Why would this man have wanted to take the victim's life? He had no reason to do so. Motive? I have to think of everything myself. Just say, you're going through my wish list on Steam at the moment and putting them onto Humble. Yo, going on wish list on Steam, putting them on Humble. Okay, cool. Thanks, Dean. Let me just shout you out real quick. Shout out Demon Dono. Go check him out. He streams sometimes. A lot of Call of Duty and apparently Yakuza 3. I have here a contract provided by the witness. What contract is this, Lord Van Zeeks? The contract into which Mr. Drebber and to the victim, Mr. Asman. It reads, Mr. Drebber is to receive 30% of all remunerations, government grants, or other income. 30%? Certainly very favorable contractual conditions. But there was one very important provision bolted onto that clause. I don't play Call of Duty unless it's Resident Evil Yakuza. Okay, fair. Yep, Resident Evil Yakuza. Still, check him out. What provision? Mr. Drebber may only uphold this right on condition that both contract parties are alive. Aw, no. In other words, if either of us were to die, the contract would become null and void. So you see, I had nothing to gain from Mr. Asman's death. The diametric opposite, in fact. Need I say more? The witness has neither an opportunity nor a reason to commit the alleged crime. In short, the possibility that Mr. Trevor has done as you suggest is nil. Seems the defense's assertion was somewhat wide of the mark. Lord Van Zeeks, you will submit the contract as evidence, please. Okay, cool. No, it's true. Trevor had no opportunity to switch the birdcage on the stage with the one in the crystal tower. He could have done it. In any case, I have no idea what his motive might have been. There's one aspect of your argument that still holds true, however. There were 2 bird cages. The prosecution knows and unable to deny that. I'm sure you're on the right lines, Mr. Navarro. I have no doubt there are other aspects of your assertion that are undeniable truths too. Well, it would seem the defense has no rejoinder to offer. Is that how you pronounce that? Ka. Well, I must say I'm a little surprised. I came here to testify about the machine I built, and instead my reputation is defiled. But the prosecution's counter has set the record straight, I think. It's impossible that I'm the culprit.
Objection!
At the beginning of this trial, we believed that there was only 1 bird cage. Yet now we know there must have been 2. In other words, there was more to the demonstration than we realized at first. I think it's abundantly clear that the same applies to the culprit. Get to the point. The stage demonstration was constructed and set up its entirety by you, Mr. Drebber. Therefore, it's inconceivable that he had no hand in the events that transpired. So if circumstances mean it's impossible that you could have carried out the crime yourself, it points to the fact that someone else was involved. Oh, a third person? Come on! Someone else? Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, my lord. Mr. Drebber had an accomplice.
Objection!
An accomplice now? What then? Well then, I presume you're prepared for what's to come. Now they're accusing not only this witness, but someone else of the most serious of crimes. If these accusations turn out to be false, then make no mistake. prosecution will demand an equally serious punishment for your slander.
Well, counsel, do you intend to pursue this course and formally accuse another party of involvement in this matter? What I do here, at the moment, is a little more than a hunch on my part. I don't know for sure if Trevor had an accomplice, I mean, even if he really is the culprit here. One way or another, though, I have to make my position clear. As a lawyer, so what's my stance going to be? Did Trevor have an accomplice, or not? Name the accomplice or back down. Crap. Hmm. I could name Odie Asman as the accomplice because he kind of had a he was the boss of a large criminal organization. So he could have had a part, and then like the death was accidental or some other motive forced his hand. I'm willing to say that the victim is the accomplice. I'm gonna actually say first, just in case. I mean, we kind of have to name an accomplice because there's no other possibility. I'm gonna name Odie Esmond. The defense is ready to name Mr. Trevor's accomplice. Somehow the two bird cases must have been switched. Everything points to that. Yet according to the coroner's report, that's not a possibility. But that inconsistency itself is a clue. Counsel. My lord, you received a stark warning already. If you are nevertheless determined, then I must now ask you to identify this alleged accomplice by name. So, your answer, please. Who do you now claim to have been Mr. Trevor's accomplice? Let me just look over this before. I think it's Odie Asman, but I'm gonna double check this. If I name Hairbrain, then that's a death sentence because he's my client. You're nowhere near, so you're irrelevant. And let me just eliminate Susato, Iris, Herlock Sholmes, and Strongheart. Well, oh yeah, Strongheart's unrelated to this case. He's been unrelated. I feel like he has his own sinister actions later down the line, but not in this case. And then I can eliminate you as well. Gina, I mean, we saved her. I can eliminate you. You're the detective. You were nowhere near everything. These two are witnesses. You are also nowhere near, and then you can't be because we've already talked about that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna say Odie Asman. It's either Odie or Hairbrain. I don't want to indict my own client, so.
Take that!
There you go. Who is this person? Someone intimately related to the crime, my lord. It's someone you surely wouldn't say you don't know. Uh-oh. Yes, thank you. I'm aware of the person, obviously, but on what basis do you claim felonious involvement? Oh, shut up, Avast. Jeez.
Surely you wouldn't say you don't know, would you?
Ah! I'm sure I simply slipped and pointed to the wrong person, didn't you? No, that was my best theory. There's no other explanation. No slip-ups this time, please, counsel. Okay. Well, in that case, then I'm gonna go with the only other person that makes sense, and I hate to do this.
Take that!
No? Well, it's crap. Okay, well, we're dead. So who could have been? Thank you, Cat. Thank you, Cat. My lord! No further analysis necessary.
The members of the jury are gonna say he's guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty!
Kill me.
Oh, I guess I thought she smacked it with the corn. Wah, wah. Pronounce you guilty. That is all. Slam. Resume a save game. Okay, well, it locked us into the accomplice, so it means that this is the right thing to do. I just need to figure out what is the right person. Well, oh, if it's not the victim and not the other person on the stage, then who could it have been? I don't think it's you. Wait, are we gonna say it was Esmeralda due to him getting access to the waxwork? She seems innocent enough, though. And she is nowhere near... At least I don't think she was anywhere near the scene of the crime. And she seemed like very upset that the waxwork was stolen. He had access to the balloons. Wow, it's not you. We don't even know your name. Actually, no, we do know your name. It's just excessively long. So they're just giving him Bohemian Boy. I don't think it's you. You're the coroner, though. Or Lord Strongheart's most trusted allies. I feel like there's more to your story, so I don't think... I'm gonna try Balthazar Lune.
Take that!
No? Crap.
Damn it.
Who else could it have been? The only other thing I could possibly think of that makes some sort of sense is you.
Take that!
No. Okay, well, I don't want to go through all that again. Hold on. Name the accomplice. According to the coroner's report. So is it her? I feel like there's more to her story though. But I guess she is the only other person I could possibly think of, other than maybe you, but you're 11, so I'm gonna go with Courtney.
Take that!
Jeez, oh, there we go. The name of the person in question is... What's wrong with Nippone's friend? Surely fear doesn't bind your tongue now. It's a little late for that. Of course, I'm afraid. After all, naming her in this capacity is definitely going to make waves. A lot of waves. Could very well turn every single person in this court, but it gets me. Sure, it'll be alright, Mr. Naruto. Thank you, Mrs. Sato. The enemy always appears larger than life, but you appear exactly the same as the enemy. Alright then, here goes. You kept us waiting long enough. Here ends the council. Now.
The person who colluded with Mr. Drebber in order to carry out this wicked crime is Scotland Yard's coroner, Dr. Courtney Scythe. What a blazes are you talking about, Dr. Scythe?
The head of the forensic investigation team at the coroner, the doctor conducted the autopsy on the victim.
We know that there were 2 bird cages, so who could have carried out the switch to complete the illusion? The accident happened in front of a huge crowd of spectators, and the area was immediately sealed off. Then everyone, police officers included, were banished to make their way to the forensic investigation team. Oh no! Oh no! I should have known. When else could the switch have occurred? It can only have been in that team's presence. It's essentially that the court determines exactly what happened following the incident. The defense demands that Dr. Scythe be summoned to the witness stand at once to testify.
He's asleep.
You got that nerve, lad. Standing up there, dragging the yard's name through the mud.
I didn't mean to.
I know the one very well. No better dead room worker out there. A color a criminal.
My lord friend's imagination appears to be wilder than the East End at night. But the recklessness of your accusation aside, there's another grave problem with your argument. One which the prosecution demands you address at once.
A grave problem? Oh my word!
Who do you claim acted as the victim's doppelganger?
What? Certainly the birdcage containing the body of the victim was exchanged for another. The cage must have also contained a body.
And yet, no missing persons or accidental deaths of anyone, even remotely resembling the victim, have been reported. Which means that there was no one, dead or alive, who could have fulfilled the role of a body double for Mr. Asman.
Ugh, that's true. My argument is that there were 2 bird cages. Must have been 1 person inside each. I don't know if I've got an answer to this yet. Have I? What can I do to reveal how this body double stunt was achieved? Crap. Alright, well, honestly, I'll save this here. And we're gonna answer this question next time. It's past 2 hours already. And this seems like a decent enough cliffhanger. That's not the right button. That is also not the right button. Next time on Ace Attorney, we answer this question. Will we name someone, present evidence, or do nothing at the moment to try to figure out how the body double was achieved? I thank you for tuning in, Dean. I also thank Arctic Kitsune for being my 69th follower. Nice. I've got to type that in. Nice. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.